All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with the webinar for today. And first thing, I want to actually jump out of here and show you kind of a radar loop. And it'll take a second here to build, and hopefully you'll be able to see the animation here. It may be a little bit jumpy, but this is zoomed in on Oklahoma and North Texas. This is kind of our area of primary interest today. You can see a radar loop there, hopefully moving, and we have rain and thunderstorms spreading up over southern Oklahoma right now, and that extends all the way back down into far west Texas. Also, a shield of rain extends further north up towards Stillwater and northern Oklahoma, pushing in to southern Kansas. You may be able to see those faint shaded areas back in the background there. Those are the SPC risk areas roughly for today with jagged edges. So that darker shaded area there, as you see, is the latest version of the enhanced risk. They did modify that just a bit on the update, and a lot of the rest of the area is in a slight risk for today, except for far northwest Oklahoma. Complicated scenario again today. It seems like they always are. Very rarely they're not complicated. This is another complicated day. We got stuff going early. We got stuff this morning. Right now on the north side of this rain shield we just issued a significant weather advisory for parts of Norman and Oklahoma City. We're getting gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour outside of thunderstorms north of this rain and thunderstorms that's happening down to our south, not associated with thunderstorms. So it's kind of a complex situation. We do still expect that the highest potential for any significant severe weather today would be in that enhanced risk area. Obviously, where it's raining and thundering now, any chances of higher end severe weather will be minimized, but there's a lot of places out in the eastern part of our area on the kind of the northeast corner, that marginal risk area, Ada, Atoka, Colgate, Durant, in that area that have not seen a lot of stabilizing rain or anything yet. So there's still a potential over there for things to develop out ahead of this. I don't think this will be obviously things are already kind of developing. So I think we're just going to have some type of rain or thunderstorms in our area pretty much all day long. These will intensify as they continue to move east and northeast, and eventually we think become severe. Other areas, even though you are on the cooler air where it has rain, there is still a lot of elevated instability. So while the storms may not be based right at ground level where it's hot and muggy, it may be unstable enough just above the surface for those storms to form anyway. So we could still see hail and maybe some strong winds over a fairly wide area today. So I kind of wanted to show you what we're looking at on the radar this morning as we try to analyze the situation, see what's going on. So we're going to be issuing significant weather advisories when storms are not quite severe. We're going to be issuing severe thunderstorm warnings as usual. And in this kind of situation, any tornadoes that we might expect would likely be embedded in rain and be kind of very, very hard to see visually, if not impossible to see visually, and very, very difficult to detect on radar, especially far away from the radar. So we're going to need all your help that you can provide us today if you have spotters or any observations that you could share with us. All right, let me jump back into the slides here and show you a cleaner view of that risk map. This is the 8 o'clock update of the severe weather outlook for today, and you can see where that enhanced risk area is. Extends almost up to Norman and then curls back down to around Lawton and Wichita Falls, and a slight risk area covers much of the rest of our area except for far northwest Oklahoma is in a marginal risk. The strongest storms this afternoon in southeast Oklahoma, south central Oklahoma especially, and maybe part of North Texas would be capable of maybe golf ball, and if one gets really cranked up, it could even do tennis ball size hail and some strong gusty winds. And so we will be watching for that very, very carefully. Any tornado potential is the highest tornado potential we have in our area today is low, and that's basically east of a line from Stillwater to Oklahoma City to Wichita Falls. And again, we're not expecting big high-end tornadoes, but these would be kind of the linear, embedded, weaker tornadoes that are short-lived, hard to detect, and impossible to see visually. We're also concerned about the potential for excessive rainfall. We're still looking for this area shaded in red to potentially receive 2 to 4 inches of rain, locally higher amounts through tomorrow morning. And if we keep seeing this train of moisture going all the way back down into West Texas, if that configuration continues through the day, that's going to end up being a pretty good forecast here, because that rain is just going to keep training over those same areas throughout the day today and into tonight. So we do have it's going to be a rainy, semi-stormy day for a lot of us here today, and we need to be on the alert for possible flooding. We had lots of rain in some places last night, so the ground is already saturated in some spots, so we'll be looking for localized flooding, any potential for flash flooding and things like that. I forgot to mention, but hopefully you know, if you got any questions about the weather today or tonight, please type those in the question box. We'll take a look at Saturday here in just a minute, but I think there's no severe weather risk for Saturday, and by Saturday the rain should be moving out and we should be drying out for a period here. So hopefully that will be good news for us. But today and tonight, if you got outdoor activities or events, especially in these severe weather risk areas and in the flooding risk areas, there's a good chance of rain, thunderstorms off and on pretty much all day and into tonight. So just be aware of that. Now, I'm going to do some begging for assistance here. We had a lot of severe weather yesterday. We had tornadoes and storm damage and hail reported literally from far northwest Oklahoma to western North Texas to southeast Oklahoma to northeast Oklahoma. So we had a large event, and normally we might be going out and looking at tornado damage today in a couple of spots, but we can't do that because all of our staff is needed here for severe weather. So we need your assistance. Now it's our responsibility to be the official source for documenting every tornado, and to document a tornado we need to know where it started, where it ended, how wide it was, and the intensity, the EF scale. That little picture there is the damage survey that we did in Elk City, around Elk City the other day, and see all our damage points there. But we can't go out and do a survey for these storms. So this is what we need from anybody that has any information from us. We could use any report of any structural damage you're aware of. Now, a structure to me includes anything from a warehouse to a school auditorium to a barn to a shed to a pole barn to an outbuilding to a house, any mobile home, any kind of structure, any type of damage that you may notice. Any damage to power poles, power lines. So if there's any electric cooperatives on, or any people that work for power companies, utility companies, that information would be extremely valuable for us. Any kind of damage to trees. A lot of times when we beg for damage reports, people don't think that trees are considered damage, but they very much are to us. And any other damage to fences, irrigation rigs, anything else. I know everybody's busy, but if emergency managers or Red Cross or other officials are out doing this kind of work anyway, you're maybe already collecting addresses where damage occurred. You're maybe already doing preliminary damage assessments and entering stuff in a database. So if you have any mapping that's digital, if it's a GIS file that you could share, if you drew it on the back of a napkin, if you've got just the coordinates of the damage, we'll take it. Any images or video of the tornado or storm. We will take any scrap of data that you have, and you cannot give us anything too small, too insignificant, or unimportant, because we literally, for some of these, are not going to be able to set foot on the ground where we think a tornado happened. So we're going to need assistance in completing the entire history of that tornado from scratch. So any information you have, please email it to us, email it to me, call us, whatever, share it. Share a link with us, whatever. We're not going to publish it. We're not going to share it with anybody you don't want us to share it with. If you don't want us to share it, we won't. It's just used to complete our investigation of all these storms. And that'll be going on for weeks and weeks and weeks into the future. So hopefully we won't have any more to survey after today. Let's see. All right, I'm going to pause here and see if there are any questions. Timing for the storms today. Timing for the storms today is now and continuing through the day. So for southeast Oklahoma, including Atoka, Durant, Colgate, Holdenville, storms will be increasing over the next hour or so, and they may just continue off and on through the afternoon and into the evening. So that's one reason we don't have a timing graphic right now, is because it would kind of say now if we did a timing graphic. Graduation ceremonies in the metro area at 7 o'clock. I would think for the metro area by this evening, there could be some severe thunderstorms around. The tornado potential is going to be really, really low. Flooding might be a concern, but even that in the metro area is not probably going to be as high a concern as it may be southeast of here. Yeah, if I was attending a graduation ceremony in Norman tonight, I wouldn't be too worried about it. I would just keep an eye on the weather. Will it continue to rain in north central parts of the state after 3? Probably. I mean, it's going to vary, and I think the heaviest of the rain will be south of places like Ponca City, but we could still have rain into the afternoon and evening. Yeah, the Tinker Air Show flying is going to be iffy today. That's a good way to put it. It's kind of marginal, or probably below marginal flying conditions for sure. So hopefully it'll be better tomorrow for the air show. No, I don't think this line is it. I think there may be more developing. This is going to be one of those things where there's not a clean backside to it where it just cuts off and we're done, like when a front or a dry line comes through. For today, I think we may just have it off and on through the day, unfortunately. Let's see. Let me jump out of here and see what tomorrow looks like. I'll be 100% honest with you. I haven't looked at it too much. That's what my kids always laugh at. They ask me what the weather is, and I say, well, let me go get on the website and look. And sorry, that's just how it is. Looking much better for tomorrow. This is just a snapshot of the Oklahoma City forecast. You know, after today, we get another shot of thunderstorms maybe Monday night, but tomorrow and Sunday looks sunny for here. Just do a couple of representative spots here. This is Ada. Lingering showers maybe in the morning, then clearing off. Let's look at Wichita Falls. We're not going to do every point. I'm just trying to get a representative sample. So yeah, I think rain and showers and thunderstorms will be ending from the northwest tomorrow morning, so maybe limited down to far southeast Oklahoma, and then moving out, and then a nice weekend ahead. So hopefully we'll have a chance to dry out. What about baseball in Oklahoma City? We're in close contact with Special Olympics and working with the emergency management there, so we're talking to them and providing information to them as needed. So they are, yeah, they're going to be in the rain off and on today and thunderstorms, and in that risk of severe weather. I'm not sure when Bedlam baseball is in Oklahoma City. If it's today, it may be rained out, or there may be, it may be affected by the showers and storms at least. But if it's tomorrow, it should be okay, or Sunday. All right, I'm going to cut it off there. If you have any other questions, I'll hang around here for just a few minutes after the webinar. I have recorded this, it says, and we survived the whole thing. So hopefully I'll send out a link to this entire very rough audio and video, this webinar on as a YouTube link here in a little bit. We may do a public YouTube video in a little while too, but this one will have the whole webinar on it for y'all. So